Hello, good morning. It is Sunday, February 2nd, and this is a video. I am in transit. I have been at the manifesting event in Stewart with my friends, and we have had an amazing time. But I'm posting this in advance because I didn't want you to think I had forgotten to show up, because I really haven't. What I wanted to do was to let you know about some of the questions that I have been asked. And some of those questions have related to what I do. And, I've been doing it for a while now, so I tend to forget that for many people, what I do is new. And so it's kind of like, why? Well, tarot called me. I'd always loved astrology. Astrology had been part of my life since my hippie days, when my hair was way down here and my son was sitting on my hip. I learned astrology with my dear friend who is a renowned astrologer today and has made a lifetime career of more than 50 years of doing this. She is just amazing, and I love her dearly. So when she started to learn, I started to learn with her. And of course, we both went our separate ways, and I started teaching, and then, married my husband, and then, life went on. And the same thing for her as well. So now, 50 something years later, here we are, and the kids are grown, and we are still connect and have a wonderful time just catching up and remembering those days when our kids were so tiny. But that's how I learned. And so I'd always had this amazing interest in what I love doing. But after life went on, and I retired from teaching just in 2011. My husband had transitioned, and I was here in Tallahassee, and it was like, okay, what do I do? So I decided to experiment with a lot of things. I volunteered at the animal shelter, and I really loved that. And I loved walking the pit bulls on Sunday, except that they became stronger than me, and trying to hold them was difficult. And it broke my heart seeing older dogs being abandoned by their owners because they were old, and how fearful and scared they were from no longer being able to sleep in a warm bed, but now being in a kennel. So for those reasons, I stopped doing that. Then I learned how to horseback ride, and I liked that. And of course, I had been dancing, and I still am doing that. So that was really great. But I knew I needed more. I knew I needed something that expanded what I love doing. I had always used my intuition, not realizing it, of course, teaching elementary school. You're making, at least I was, and most teachers are, making 25, 26 decisions every minute independently. Just trying to quiet my mind after retirement was an amazing feat just for me, and meditation really, really helped with that. So moving on and exploring and expanding, I had been getting emails from a person that I knew just from internet. I hadn't met her in person yet. And she lived in North Carolina. I started mentoring with Gina. And in mentoring with Gina, that brought me to tarot. She taught me tarot, and it wasn't that I had to learn tarot. It was the fact that tarot called me. And I saw this amazing blending of astrology and tarot. Okay, yes, big deal. But what for? What's the point? The point is that this is a tool. Just as astrology is a tool, just as tarot is a tool to help you find confirmation for your decisions, to help you get clarity and focus on where you're going. Many times, I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me, that so many ideas can be going through my head that they all get cluttered and muddled, and I can't see the forest for the trees. And that's where this type of tool comes in handy. It also gives an amazing concrete picture and identification of how you will find a solution, how you will find clarity, how you will get confirmation on your path being the proper path or not. Either way, it gives information. Now, all of this is not cast in stone. It does not mean that whatever comes out of a tarot reading is what you must do or do not do. That's not the case at all. We are born with free will. We are born with the ability to choose. We have that freedom. That is an amazing freedom, and sometimes we forget that. This just offers you options and choices. You can then find the one that works best for you. Now, tarot is 78 cards in a deck. There are many different kinds of tarot cards. I love the variety that is out there. I tend to gravitate towards a certain one, and that's what I feel aligned to, a certain group. I have one tarot deck that I absolutely love the most, and that's the one that I use the most. But then, of course, I have the beautiful Chrysalis deck that Teddy gave me. And so if Teddy gave it to me, you know I have to love it. And I do, because it's whimsical and it's just wonderful. I just love it. Now, of those 78 cards, 22 of them are what is called major arcana. And a major arcana card is a higher level card, a soul reading card, if you will. So it pertains to the higher chakras, where the heart is the bridge to the lower chakras. And the other 56 cards are the same as our playing deck. We have the numbered cards up to 10, and then we have the court cards with the king and the queen, except we don't have a jack. We have, it could be a knight, and it could be a page, it could be a prince and princess, it all depends, but there's 4 court cards that are in the tarot deck. Now these lower or minor arcana is what they're called, as opposed to the major arcana where it's more the soul level, have 4 different suits, just like a regular playing card deck. And these suits pertain to the same signs that we see in astrology. So we have air, water, fire, and earth. And these different suits then have that energy of that sign, that element. And that's fast moving is more of fire and water and air, where usually anything pertaining to earth is more slow moving. But it also, earth then pertains, which are pentacles, pertains to money, and it pertains to your grounding and your connection to the earth. And we have fire, which are wands, and that is the fire signs of the zodiac, just like it's the earth signs of the zodiac for the earth. And these are about passion and spirit and power, and that's within the wands. Air sign is thoughts, just the same way we have the air signs in the astrological signs as well. So the air then pertains to how our thoughts impact our behavior and what we attract in life. Then we have water, which is cups, and that is the emotions, the feelings, just the same way as we have water signs within the zodiac signs. All of these blend together and come together. Now, numbers also have a meaning, and that, for instance, a 3 means working together and within a group. A 4 is foundation, like the 4 corners of a house. So we have a 10 would be completion and getting ready to start into the next phase. There are so many different, each number has its own feeling and its own meaning. And then it has its own meaning within the sign that it has, which then gives input into the reading and what you choose and what you desire. Every reading, I can have a reading that's based on the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 houses of the zodiac, with 2 extra cards. I can have a reading that's based on developing your confidence. I can have a reading that's based on connecting with joy, and that actually is a special for this month because it's for couples as well as individuals. And there's all sorts of readings that I have: a new moon reading, a full moon reading, a business communication reading. All of those are there. The important part is the intent. One card can give you an amazing amount of information. The same thing with what I do on Sundays with those single card readings. I do in an expansive way in the online tarot gallery reading. You participate on Zoom in the online tarot gallery reading, and you get one card. But the synchronicity and the melding of energy of the group then allows you to have a card reading that is as many people as there are on the call. Each card will have a meaning for you, just the same way that on Sunday when I draw 3 cards for 3 different people, they always hold a meaning for everyone. Why is that? Because the energy of the people that show up there affect how all of this happens. And it's really, really true. And it's absolutely amazing how that works. Now, if I see a card that's a 2, and it could mean a variety of things. Let's just say it's the 2 of Pentacles, and it usually shows a person juggling 2 of the Pentacles. Well, it can mean a variety of things, and the decision is which way to go in making that money. Or it could be who knows what. And I don't have a special offering for you right now for other meanings, because it depends on the intuitive connection of that reading. Intuitive connection with the person that is getting the reading. Now, what does that mean? That means that my intuition gives me information. My intuition, it means that I am not the source. I am the conduit. I am not the source of the information that I am passing on. I am only the conduit. The intuition is my connection to higher power. And that's what comes through in the reading. Now, do we have to say specifically, let's say you have one question that you want answered, and it's because you are at a crossroads and you have 2 good options, but you're not sure which one to take. Can a single card reading help with that? Yes, because what it does is connect with you and your intuition and where you want to go. So let's just say, let me give you a couple examples. One of my clients wanted to know, should they change their relationship? They were just getting frustrated. They didn't know which way to turn, and they had been in a committed relationship for a while. Well, it was interesting because when we talked about it and then we did the reading, the cards connected only to the positive aspects of that relationship. What did that say? That said that the person receiving the reading should make a list, connect fully, make a list of the positive aspects of the relationship, because it's 1 and 1 equals 3. You know, a single person, and the relationship has its own personality. So connect with that, with the positive aspects of that relationship. Then also make a list of the positive aspects of that person. Think of each individual aspect that you write. Feel it in your heart. And then see at the end what decision is the best decision to make. Do these outweigh what negative aspects are there that you don't feel in alignment with, that she did not feel in alignment with? And as it turned out, they were able to work through it. Coming together, they were able to each make their own list, because she had a partner also that was willing to commit to keeping the relationship together or not. If it was not going to work, they were going to part peacefully, but they were going to find all the positivity in their relationship as much as possible. Now, the reading pointed out, instead of dwelling on all the negative things that were going on, it pointed out to look at the positive aspects. And that's one of the ways that I do my reading. I do not do reverse cards. And I know that that's traditional. It's just the way I am called to do it. I use upright cards only because if there is something that needs to be called out to work on that may be perceived as a negative aspect, it will come out in an upright card. I'm never concerned that the message will not be given. Now, another client came because she was getting ready to launch a new program in her business. And she had it all lined up. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She had it all together. Now, were the astrological aspects aligned with what she wanted to do? And also in a single card reading, we kind of put the two and two together, and what she had designed was absolutely fantastic. But it was best that it be delayed just a tad because of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde allowed her to go back through and actually find some places that she needed to work on in this launch. And she looked at it from a different viewpoint that I suggested, which was list all the ways that it goes right, not all the ways that it could go wrong. Now, actually, in essence, we're talking about the same thing, but we're talking about it from a positive sense rather than a negative sense. Everything worked out well. The delay happened. I mean, we're not talking about months and years. We're talking about a 2-week delay. And that allowed her to catch up on whatever errors or gaps she didn't see previously, to get all those put in place to make everything go right. Now, these kinds of questions are part of life. Should I stay with the same partner? Am I in the right job? Should I make a change? Is it time for me to retire? Is a mate, is someone, a significant other, going to be in my life, coming into my life? Is that something that's part of what I see? The whole point is, whatever the question, we can answer it in a single card. We can answer it in a fuller reading that taps into every part of you. The beauty of it is an intuitive tool to help you with choices in life. You have the answer within you. It's just on occasion it gets all muddled up as we try to think about all of our options from here to the moon. And they then cloud the real true answer that is in our heart. And all tarot does is tap into that. It's an amazing tool. It is one where you can actually see the card. And actually in my readings, what I do, especially if it's a multiple card reading, I send you a picture of that card, so that of the card that meant the most to you, and even in a single card reading too, the card that meant the most to you, to remember in those moments when you're having some difficulty keeping on track, holding the mission, holding the focus. That card is a perfect example of how life can bring you the answer. And it's not how life brings the answer. It's how you have created this life to attract the answer and all the success that you really, really deserve. You are worthy. You are deserving of all your desires. This is just a tool to clear away the sludge, to make sure that you stay on that path and you're on the right path. That's all this does. Now, if you have any questions, now that I've given it's a brief explanation, I realize, but if you have any questions, please message me here on Facebook. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you have a question that's really, really of concern to you, do let me know. Please keep in mind, Thursday, February 20th, there is the online tarot gallery reading. This $19.95 for this reading is a value, a tremendous value, because you're not just getting one card reading, you're getting a multiple card reading from every person. We also go more into depth than we do on a Sunday with just the single card reading. Also, that next Sunday is the full moon in Leo at 20 degrees of Leo, which is so close to my sun. And, oh, excuse me, let me just turn this off really, really quickly. I apologize. I should have turned that off before I started the video. Anyway, this next Sunday, I will be here in person, because it is the full moon that Sunday. So we will be doing that then. And I think that's pretty much it. But please remember the online tarot gallery reading. The link is posted Also, the Connect with Joy reading, which is on special this month. It's just a half an hour reading, and it's $10 off, and it is amazing how with couples or business partners, you can really clear away the fog to communicate and to become closer and more intimate in your work or in your professional or in your personal life. It really is amazing. And the couples that I've done that with, they are excited about the results. They have really loved how they got to then share in a reading things that had been bothering each of them, but they hadn't quite fully communicated it to their partner. So it really gets to the seed and the seat of intimacy and caring and love. So do remember that. It's on special all month. It has been wonderful talking to you. I like talking to you in person better, which I will do next Sunday. But I did want you to know how much I love you and how much I am here for you. And remember, joy has your name on it. Bye now.